Hello, and thank you so much for dropping by this video. And a happy 11th day of Christmas. The Christmas season is coming to a close. We have 2 more days left. And thank you so much for joining in, taking the time to connect to the grace of the season. So let's spend a little time and do that. Let's open ourselves up and receive, and let's tune in, become aware of the very special energy and grace that is available during this time. Welcome to those who joined in, where I invited people to tune into the special grace and energy of this season. And if anyone has a particular topic that they would like to explore a little bit, please feel free to type it in. Mhm. An out-of-body experience from tuning in. Not that I've heard of, but I haven't heard of that. And let's all sit. So for anyone who doesn't know, an OBE is an out-of-body experience. That's where someone has the experience of actually leaving their body and traveling around. So first of all, the first thing that comes to my mind when we reflect on out-of-body experiences is the remembrance, which Brunp Groening said was very important, to remember that we are not our body. This is an amazing thing. It's more than a thing. Brunp Groening said it was a gift. And we can really reflect on, I've had so many amazing experiences in this life here on Earth, in a body. And, it's kind of like, obviously we spend all of our time in our body. During this life, I've spent all my time in my body. I've had a couple out-of-body experiences myself, but they were very fleeting. And of course, then there's deep sleep when I'm not aware of my body. But other than that, my life here on Earth is all based around this. But the interesting thing is until I found Bruno's teaching, I always took that for granted. I never really reflected on the fact that, well, this is just a temporary experience I have, that I've had an existence before and I'll have an existence after that actually isn't focused, localized around a body. So let's reflect on that a little bit. It can be hard for us as human beings to fathom life without a body. Greta Hausler, one person who knew Bruno well, asked him, well, how will I recognize you in the other world without a body? And she reports that Bruno smiled and said, but with your heart and how you feel. So it would be a completely different existence. And we don't need to dwell on that other life, because what we need to do well in this life. But there is something very important. It's very important to reflect on what we are. We're more like the driver of a car, our body being a car, than we are a body. This is just a temporary vehicle or vessel. Now, that's not to put the body down. Many spiritual traditions do. And I'm not going to argue with that choice or that teaching. Many spiritual teachings are very harsh on the body. Brunp Groening's teaching is the exact opposite. Again, that it's a divine gift and that our first duty is to take care of it. So let's open up to a new idea about the body, but we can also just ask God, like, God, what's the deal with this body? What is it holy? Is it a gift? Or is it, as some people say, a punishment or a something evil? Brunp Groening's teaching is the exact opposite. In fact, Bruno went so far as to say that God reveals all his glory in our body. According to Google, we have 37.2 trillion cells. Of course, that's not an exact number. Some people more, some people less. 37 trillion cells in this body. It's, it's a funny number, 37.2. But now keep in mind, each cell is like a microorganism. Each cell is like a tiny organism. Let's reflect on that a moment, much less the amazing structure of the body, the various organs and blood vessels, and much less the brain. There's an interesting divine creation. But something is orchestrating that. Something created that. Something's orchestrating that. Something's keeping that in balance. Here's a quote from Bruno. The body is a complete piece of work from which everyone has to learn that God showed us his work in our body so that we can understand how great and powerful God is. Now, that's a very different approach. To understand God through contemplating our bodies. Most people say to understand God, read a book. Which is fine. I've read my share. I still do. Less. I don't tend to read books all the way through. I find one or two things and really dive deep. But regardless, how about that as a contemplation? This beautiful, amazing, in which science has really unfolded just how amazing it is and continues to unfold. 37 trillion cells It's like each body is a universe of life. $37 trillion microorganisms right here. And of course, just the amazing, the amazing things we can do with this body. And yet to hold to the awareness that we're not this body. Jason wrote that he felt so attuned, he felt himself slipping out. I don't know if that's a common experience. I haven't heard other people share that. And any spiritual practice, can trigger it. I don't remember. I was doing some kind of meditation when I had my out-of-body experiences. So I'm not surprised, and I wouldn't say that that's necessarily the goal of tuning in. And the thing is, tuning in is about receiving the evolutionary teaching, healing energy of God, and whatever's needed for the individual. And it's different for each person. The energy is sort of modulated or to what each person needs. It's amazing. So it shows up a little different for everyone. I very often feel like just an openness and a sense of expansion. Almost like my body becomes invisible. It's like I'm observing my body, I'm aware of the sensations, and yet there's also this feeling of like the body is not solid or something. And I haven't heard anyone else express that. I'm sure other people have experienced it. And the reason why I share it is because it shows up. The healing stream has a different impact on each one of us. For whatever reason, that's good medicine for me. It's probably helping me relax. Bruno said, then again, you also do not know why you are alive and for what purpose God has given you this wonderful body. But just as you hold valuable earthly gifts in great respect, you should have regard for this greatest divine gift, your body. and protect it from the assaults of evil. That is, you should take care never to let something that is not good come into you or casually expose your body to danger. It is truly the most valuable good that a human being possesses on earth. Do not forget this and always be thankful that you are able to be alive here. Our greatest possession. Who knew? My greatest, before this teaching, actually, I'd heard another teacher say that a long time ago, that our body is our most valuable possession. But if I hadn't heard that from this person and heard it reiterated by Bruno, I would think my car or my house was my greatest possession. And here Bruno again points out it's a divine gift, and it's a divine gift to be alive on this planet. It doesn't always feel like it, unless we adopt the spiritual perspective of that this is a school, and it's a very rare school, according to Brunp Groening, in that evil is allowed to operate here. So I shared yesterday about how in this teaching, I felt that I hadn't really been given a solid foundation in this teaching, and I shared on some of the foundational pieces my view on what the foundational pieces of this teaching are, namely awareness of good and evil and the power, how strong evil is, and how, of course, all powerful good is, and the need for humility. Now let's talk a little bit about God. I found this beautiful piece of writing that I feel is very much in alignment with Brunp Groening's teachings on God, and I'll post a link for it. Actually, the article is called "How to Listen to God," and as many of you have heard me say many times, Brunp Groening used those exact words, to listen to God and to follow God. And so here are a few propositions that this article makes about God. God is alive. He always has been, and he always will be. God knows everything. God can do everything, do anything. I'm going to change the wording a little bit. God is everywhere, all at the same time. God is invisible. We can't see or touch him, but God is here. He is with you now. He is beside you. He surrounds you. He fills the room or the whole place where you are. He is in you now. He is in your heart. God cares very much for you. He is interested in you. He has a plan for your life. He has an answer for every need and problem you face. God will tell you all that you need to know. He will not always tell you all that you want to know. God will help you do anything that he asks you to do. Anyone can be in touch with God anywhere and at any time. So, on my journey for the longest time, I thought, it doesn't really matter what you believe, or nothing's really true, or just beliefs are just ideas. I kind of treated like a game, oh, that's a cool idea. Not, is that idea true, or is that idea helpful? And the reason why I resonate so deeply with this article is it speaks to things that I deeply believe and trust, but it's almost like those are things that are kind of in the background. I've never really, like I said, laid that foundation. And so I'm kind of reading this every day, and it's a process of how to, a form of journaling to literally help you learn how to listen to God. But reflecting on these principles and really, really, really making a decision that God is all good, and God is infinite, and God is completely trustworthy, and much less that God cares about me. As I said, these are things that I believe, but it's kind of like a lukewarm belief. So to really take these things to heart and really, really say yes to this, and then to live by it, because these ideas are so important. The idea that God has an answer for every need and every problem that I face. Whoa. That's just a very short sentence, but it's a life-changing idea. It's a life-changing idea to really take that to heart and really believe it. So I'm going to begin to wrap up now, and I'd like to thank everyone for dropping by and watching this video. Thanks for saying hi, Jason, and a very interesting topic you brought. Thanks for saying hello, Jisoo. Hopefully now we're all filled up with this divine energy. And let's ask for ourselves, for everyone who attended today and watches this video, for this YouTube channel and all connected endeavors, for all people sharing the work of Brunp Groening, for all those striving for the good, Please, for all those who feel lost, for ourselves, for every person on this planet, the great turnaround back to nature, back to God, back to faith. And please, guidance for our part in that glorious, glorious process. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I wish everyone a beautiful, beautiful day. Take care. Much love.